Is the Hellcat actually worth the extra money over the Scatpack? Guys, with how much money cars cost, and if you're considering buying your dream car, maybe you own a Scatpack and you're considering upgrading to the Hellcat, is it actually worth it? I mean, there's got to be a certain point where enough is enough, right? We're going to talk about that in this video. Today, we are sitting in the 2023 Dodge Challenger Hellcat jailbreak. Arguably, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I think this is one of the most beautifully spec'd Hellcats I have ever seen. Guys, one of my complaints right away on the Scatpack was it just says Dodge on the steering wheel. I think the Scatpack is worthy of SRT on the steering wheel. In the Scatpack, you get SRT under the hood. Unfortunately, nowhere else though. I agree, I don't think the Scatpack should have SRT on the exterior, but I think the Scatpack is worthy of having SRT on the steering wheel. Just having plain old Dodge, it feels like the V6, and I don't know, that something felt off about that. But it being reserved for the Hellcat does make the Hellcat feel all that more special. Additionally, guys, you get, in this example, a full Alcantara steering wheel. This has such a nice feeling to it. I mean, that little touch alone, sure, you could do that upgrade in a Scatpack, but this touch alone, it really makes the Hellcat feel like a serious step up over the Scatpack. And we haven't even drove it yet, right? You get those, you can get a wide body on the Scatpack, but getting that SRT badge, that Hellcat badge on the side, SRT in the back, and just stepping in here, SRT on the seats, Alcantara steering wheel, you are going to notice some subtle touches about the Hellcat that just really do make it feel quite a bit more special. And if you look under the hood, obviously a whole entirely different design under there, given that it is a 6.2 liter supercharged V8. Keyword supercharged, that's what makes the Hellcat the Hellcat. All right, now let's go ahead and throw this thing into drive. And by the way, real quick before we do, I do need to show you this. If you click SRT mode, you get brought to this dashboard right here, and the Scatpack has nearly all of the same adjustable things, settings, performance metrics that you can track. I think Dodge has done their infotainment system better than every other car brand, and I'm including Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren in there. I mean, they don't really have infotainment screens. Those suck. Dodge has done it better than every other car brand in the entire industry. I stand by that. That is a fact, no debate. I mean, one of many examples is you jump over into custom mode, click SRT drive modes, custom setup, boom, you're now in Hellcat mode. Boom, you now are in Scatpack mode. Boom, you're back in Hellcat. What other, I don't think there is any other car from factory where at a push of a button, you change the power output. That's insane. And you can adjust the transmission if you want the paddle shifters to be on or off, traction control, suspension, and steering. In the Scatpack, you get all the same stuff minus the power output. So only transmission, paddle shifters, traction, suspension, and steering. All right, you guys, let's get rolling here. And first and foremost, I do want to say the Hellcat, it's going to be a bit subtle, but I can just kind of sense and feel like the extra weight here. It's been a while since I've been in a Challenger, so maybe it's just me not being used to this, but this feels like the heaviest of the heaviest Challengers that exist, because it is. Massive engine under there. What is a bit of a disappointment though, guys, and actually I mean, there's a few reasons to either keep your Scatpack if you have one, or get a Scatpack instead of a Hellcat, aside from obviously the price difference. But the Hellcat has a disappointing red line of about 5,700 RPM, below 6,000 RPM. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I'll pop up the exact number if I'm wrong here, but I believe the Scatpack has a red line of 6,400 RPM. And being able to rev it out and having a naturally aspirated engine, guys, just because it makes less horsepower does not make it worse. I really do mean that. And not to mention, on top of that, having less power we're going to get on this thing in just a second. We're going to whip a U-turn and really get on it. But in the Scatpack, you can launch the thing. You can floor the thing from 20 miles an hour, first gear, just floor it. And if you have proper tires on it, you will hook. You can do drag races on the street without having like prepped surfaces or drag radials on your car, and the thing will grip and you'll have a chance at winning. This, either you have to be in 500 horsepower mode, and even then, I don't know, this does not grip as well as the Scatpack I drove, but if you're in 717 mode, I mean, when I've floored it at 70, 80 miles an hour, I still spin. Here we go. Let's whip a U-turn here. Hopefully not get cut off. Thank you, sir. Okay, and let's just do a light acceleration here. First gear. It's absurd, guys. It's absurd. The Hellcat gives you a feeling of like floating. You're just floating. And so right away, I want to settle the debate. No one needs 717 horsepower. I'm serious. You literally, you don't need it, and you can barely use it. If for some reason your specialty or niche is roll racing from 80 miles an hour and above, yes, this would be great. But no one does that, so you can, I guess, erase that argument unless you are that one person. But seriously, it's unusable power. And if you're gonna sit here and argue, okay, well, what about like doing donuts and burnouts? Sure, I agree. Much easier to do it in this. In fact, so easy that I have spun the tires from just regularly going off at a green light, trying to accelerate like a normal human being. But yet, there is so much power, so quick, at the lightest tap of a throttle in this car, that with 315 width tires in the back of this Hellcat, I will accidentally spin when I don't even mean to. So, okay, I feel like I've spent a lot of time talking about why you don't want to get a Hellcat, but let's shift the argument a little bit and let's talk about why a Hellcat may be the car to get. First and foremost, guys, this is a Hellcat. What's the first thing you think of when you hear Hellcat? The whine. The whine in this car and the sound is so much more enjoyable than the Scatpack. Again, even if you're not using all 717 horsepower, just accelerating normally, but listening to that whine and giving others around you the enjoyment of hearing that whine past them, you could argue that is worth $20,000 extra of enjoyment. Seriously. And then even not just the sound from the engine bay, but also the exhaust note in this car. It is quite a bit more menacing over the Scatpack. Here, guys, let's go ahead and come to a stop and just, I'm gonna actually try to do a nice, like, oh, someone's going. Yep, there we go. Oh my gosh. I'm actually glad there was a car coming behind me because you got to see that. All right, throw it into a couple corners here. Guys, I'm pretty shocked at the fact that like it can handle that. The only thing is, if you're on a long, dragged out turn or corner, it is really, really scary throttling, because if you just press it too much, you're gonna have a $70,000, $80,000 insurance claim. So if you're somebody that likes corners, likes doing that stuff, the Hellcat is just not for you. In fact, the Scatpack, actually, I would argue corners better. I drove the narrow body Scatpack Challenger and then a wide body Charger, and just having less power and less weight, I mean, yeah, it corners. I felt as though that gave me a lot more confidence in the corners. Partially, again, because you're not as concerned with your throttle input. You could argue, yeah, sure, it's a skill issue, but just wait till you're behind the wheel of this car and you really get the feel for it, and you're in a corner and your foot's on the gas, and you know a couple more millimeters and you just crash. going in a straight line, I feel like I'm going to crash in this thing. Which, again, to the argument of why you want to get a Hellcat, that feeling and knowing that makes driving this a lot more exciting. You gotta be the first one. You want to do that. Whether you're in a Hellcat or a Scatpack, you want to be the first one out of light. But yeah, like knowing that that you are behind the wheel of this beast, it does make it more exciting. If you wake up in the morning, you're likely gonna have a bit of a bigger smile on your face going to start this car up. It's gonna start more conversations. The Hellcat will get more attention. There's a long list of items why a Hellcat is more enjoyable to drive. I just really, honestly, from a driving perspective, you simply do not need 717 horsepower. You can't use it unless you're already moving 80 plus miles per hour. Or if you are somebody that, you know, at a drag strip, you have drag radials, you're on a prep surface, that 717 actually will come in handy and you'll put all that to the ground. Otherwise, you're not. Here we go. Oh my gosh. It is nice though, because I mean, if you are in a straight line, the car can handle it. Just don't turn off traction. This is the first car where I genuinely, I promise, I have not turned off traction yet. And I don't plan to. I'm gonna give this car back to the owner with traction having never been turned off. Because I really, this car is actually that scary. So 485 horsepower versus 707 or 717, depending on whether you get the jailbreak or not. I'm going Scatpack, not only to save the extra money, but to feel more comfortable, at least to warm up to the power, because the Scatpack, guys, for me, that thing was fast. It was fast enough. The problem is this setup, this body, can't handle this much power. Pro and a con, because it makes it crazy, it makes it scary, it makes it fun. But on the bad side, it can get annoying. Sometimes you just want traction. Sometimes you want to win a drag race and not lose because you just spun the whole time. And that's, no matter how skilled you are with launching off the line, guys, no one's going to be able to do a perfect launch. I think a Scatpack almost every time would beat this thing off the line with normal tires on a normal day on a normal street, because the Scatpack is engineered to handle the power. So with that being said, guys, if you have infinite money, shoot, buy both, right? But I don't know, for me, the Scatpack is enough. But not listening to that supercharger whine and knowing that if I am going 80 miles an hour, I don't have that extra, you know, what would that be? 230-ish horsepower, 238, I believe. Would upset me, not gonna lie. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Is it necessary to buy the Hellcat? If you own a Hellcat, why did you choose it over the Scatpack? And if you have a Scatpack, well, money's always, of course, a good reason, but maybe it was just enough for you. So please share your thoughts in the comments. Would love to hear it. After driving this thing and the Scatpack, guys, I'm loving these cars. I'm gonna be honest. They're so playful and raw, unlike everything else made today. So yeah, appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon in the next video. Peace out.